What a year for TV. Lawyers, dystopian futures, murders, mysteries, and oh so more. Hauntings, zombies, drug cartels, the list goes on and on. There's a lot of variety in TV today. TV is becoming a very competitive space, especially now with all the streaming services trying to get your attention and money. There's simply too much TV to watch these days. That means if there's a good TV show, you might not be able to give it a shot because there's a great TV show that you have to watch instead. I've watched a lot of TV this year. I really like TV. That's not really a secret. But here are my 5 favourite TV shows of 2018. I hope you like them. I hope you give them a shot if you haven't already. And yeah, let me know what you think of my 5 and what your favourite TV shows of 2018 were. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is a 50-set comedy drama about a Jewish housewife who turns to stand-up comedy when her life falls apart. Bolstered by smart, funny writing, incredible acting and brilliant attention to detail, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is not only one of the best shows of 2018, but maybe of all time. Rachel Brosnahan plays the titular character. It's a fun, likeable and quirky performance that she absolutely nails. Meanwhile, the supporting cast is equally as magnificent thanks to the hilarious Alex Borstein and the always interesting Tony Shalhoub. As a comedy drama, getting the balance just right is so important. Mrs. Maisel does that. Each episode ends with a cliffhanger or a dramatic moment that leaves you clamouring for more. On top of that, this is one of the funniest shows all year. Its humour is a mix of quick, witty one-liners, and the jokes are suitable for modern audiences, but also for the 50s setting. I could sit here and gush about The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel all day, but I've already done that in my review from a couple of weeks ago. Go watch that. Go watch the show. I hope you do watch this show. It's one of my favourite shows of all time. I absolutely love it. In Sharp Objects, when a girl is killed in a small town, journalist Amy Adams returns home to investigate. With dark secrets, twisted revelations, an enticing pace, intriguing characters, and great production, Sharp Objects was one of my most memorable shows of this year. Sharp Objects is the sort of show that puts its characters first. Each and every character is well developed, realised, and acted. Thanks to great writing, we find out about these characters in small steps. Even the most minuscule of details is actually of great importance. The story is good too, though. The central mystery is the main hook for the series. It has twists and turns, revelations, and it all culminates in one of the greatest season finales I've ever seen. The very last episode has my jaw hanging in shock and awe. While it's strictly for adults, I do recommend Sharp Objects to everyone. I think there's something in there that everyone will like. But if you're going to watch this, do not look up the ending. You really want to be surprised by how this show ends. So give this a go if you haven't already. Barry is a new comedy about a hitman who wants to change professions and ends up going to acting classes. Created by and starring Bill Hader, this is a really funny and somewhat surreal show filled with dark humour, surprises and great characters. The show has been compared to Breaking Bad, tonally. It isn't afraid to push things to its limit. It has action, drama, gore, death, but the characters are so likeable and its jokes are so funny, it all works together into something palatable. Bill Hader and Henry Winkler are the standouts of the cast as the hitman and the acting coach respectively. The underrated Stephen Root is also there, providing a lot of the humour. Barry is a show that is well worth a binge watch. I believe there's only 8 episodes, actually might be 10, I can't remember, but they're all half an hour each, so it's very accessible, very easy to just put one on after the other and give it a go. It's really funny, really twisted at times, really good. Watch it, please. The Devil returned, and in quite a big way, but it was still cancelled anyway. Daredevil Season 3 is quite possibly one of the best Marvel TV shows ever made. Wilson Fisk returned as the main villain this year alongside the crackshot Bullseye. By emphasising and focusing as much on the villains as it did with the heroes, this is possibly one of the best superhero comic book movies shows ever. Who am I kidding? It is the best superhero comic book movie show ever. And I don't know why I've been calling it the best superhero comic book movie show ever, because it's not a movie. But oh well. It has some of the best action scenes ever put into screen, including a 10-minute long single take of a fight scene that transitions into a conversation that then transitions into a prison escape sequence. It's intricate and detailed with so many moving parts such as sounds, people, stunt doubles, explosions, and more. This scene alone is just incredible. Sadly, like I said, the show was cancelled. We don't know what the future for these characters is. It probably won't get renewed in Disney Plus. It probably won't get continued. And this could be the end, but luckily it went out in the best high way possible, although there are still some storylines and characters that haven't quite got the resolution we wanted. The Haunting of Hill House took me by surprise. When you think about a horror show about a haunted home, you have certain expectations. Hill House managed to subvert and twist those expectations by being a show with incredible characters, genuine shock and horror, atmosphere, and most importantly, heart and soul. It's just as likely to scare the pants off you as it is to make you cry. Hill House puts an equal amount of focus and attention on its characters as it does its genre, tropes, and story. By looking at characters as children and as adults, and by giving them strengths and weaknesses, they're incredibly relatable and likeable. It helps that the cast is brilliant too. As a horror, the most important thing is to be scary. Hill House achieves that in spades. It's atmospheric and moody, dark and grim, and it has one of the best jump scares I've ever seen. Plus, it's packed full of secrets that add an extra layer of fear and mystery to the show, if you pay close enough attention. I of course have to talk about episode 6, an episode presented in a series of long takes. At least I think it was episode 6. It's an amazing undertaking and it works brilliantly. With only a few cuts, the episode plays out as one long event connecting the past and the present. It's almost like a stage play, and few TV shows and films have ever achieved anything quite like it. In my initial review of The Haunting of Hill House, I said I was a little disappointed by the finale. You can go check out my review from a little while ago. I did also say I was going to rewatch the show, and I did that. I rewatched it, liked it just as much, but the finale I did like a little bit better this time. I do think it's still the weakest part of the season, but it does wrap up the story pretty well. It does give the characters some much needed closure. Luckily, The Haunting of Hill House is a very emotional and moving experience to watch. I do encourage you to give it a go. It's without a doubt one of, if not the greatest horror show ever made. Well, those are my favourite shows of 2018. Of course, there's a lot of TV, and a lot of it I just could not fit into this one little episode, but shows like Handmaid's Tale, The Good Fight, Better Call Saul, Orange is the New Black, and The Deuce are all in contention at some point, but I just had to narrow it down to 5, and they just didn't make the cut. Thanks for watching, I hope you liked it. What do you think of my top 5 TV shows of 2018? Let me know what your top 5 shows of 2018 were in the comments down below, and provide me with some feedback. I'll be back next week with Film and TV Weekly and any reviews that I may or may not have. Well, I suppose I'll be back with the reviews if I have them, so yeah, forget the may not bit. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @the_Grant_Burton. Subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate any sort of support. And I hope you've had a good Christmas, and I hope you're going to have a happy new year. But thanks for watching.